Hey guys, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome to Let's Play Civilization 6, the Japan Island Plates Emperor and Chill game. We are 201 turns into this epic saga of murder, I guess. We have here Yokohama. Now, Yokohama has a little bit of a growth problem, and I would actually like to get another district in this place, namely either an industrial or perhaps a campus or something, or maybe an encampment. So it's probably a good idea if I were to have a little bit of a look around here. Now I could get it a trader as well to help it grow taller and do more stuff in general. And I think it is falling off. I'm going to want to be getting up above the 25 production per turn in those cities, in my centralized production cities, and in my other cities, kind of not so much. So we have here a shipyard as an option, and I think it is actually a pretty decent option. It will give a citizen slot, it'll give +2 production and adjacency bonuses and all that sort of fun stuff. Whether or not it's actually useful, though, I'm not sure. I particularly think these aren't very useful, so I think I'll grab the shipyard just for the sake of grabbing it. Now I have here Gdansk Revolution. Let me actually rename this city. Also known as Danzig, although I think that is the old name. Gdansk Revolution. Dance Revolution. And let's see. I think we're going to purchase a builder here to help this city out. We're going to get a granary here to get it going. We're going to get a granary here also to get this one going. And we're going to be changing over our policies next turn. How far are we away from ideology? And I think we'll probably be going for fascism. Big surprise with our war-focused strategy going on here. Now we have here Simon Bolivar, gain 2 envoys. He is a great general. And he gives it to industrial and modern era units. I want you to make your way. Actually, oh, can I do a transfer to another city? I can. Excellent. Excelente. I have here a Fregates Battellatorum. And bring him over here to get upgraded and so on and so forth. Now a farm here. I think we're going to wait for the forestry upgrade and conservation. Similarly, it might actually be better to forego farms on these tiles and instead stick down forests later. And I think that's something we are going to do. So let's go harvest this guy here. Upgrade to ironclad. Okay, yes, we are ready to start upgrading some of these ships. So what I actually need to do is get them to head all the way to the nearest city to be upgraded. We're gonna have to do like a survey of all our ships next turn. Once we slot in the thing that'll allow us to upgrade for cheap. Go sleep there, horsey man, please. I'll do a little bit of damage there. That's fine. We want to get that builder. Steal that builder from the clutches of the barbarians. And our settler over here has made it. Oh, we just got hit by something, but I'm not sure what it was. Our knowledge of scientific theory has advanced considerably. I'm not sure what. I think that was researching the Enlightenment. Okay. 50% discount on all unit upgrades. I'm not making naval units right now. Campus adjacency bonuses are cool, but the gold is really nice. And yeah, there we go. Boom, our gold should shoot up. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so we can actually go through here and upgrade a lot of our ships for pretty damn cheap, actually. I think it's also time to upgrade some of the units down here. We have here a Peakman. We have a horseman's. Not many upgrades to be done. I think it's mostly just the crossbowman, actually. You're not quite ready to be upgraded to a tank, but we do now have some pretty damn strong units. Choose production. We're going to be... What did we just do? An industrial zone? You need housing. How am I going to get you more housing? I could make an aqueduct. Yeah, but probably neighborhoods are the thing to do. A workshop would be pretty reasonable here. I could also just get you a trader to increase your production rate. I'm kind of playing around with ideas in this series, and that's sort of what Emperor and Chill is for. It's for playing around with ideas and concepts in the game in a low pressure, no worries environment where I can sort of eke out an inefficient version of a strategy, and then when I take that into deity, I'll be able to like grind up that strategy into something that will consistently win me games, you know? Because I think right now there is a most effective way to play Civilization 6, and I think that that's more or less determined, but I want to participate in my own personal journey to find that most effective way. I don't want to just play the way that's the best, you know? That's fair. If you want to play that way, I respect it. It is a perfectly rational and respectable thing to want to play the most efficient way. But just for me personally, I want to try and figure things out. I want to screw around. I want to make mistakes. I want to get it wrong. I want to get it, and then I want to learn why I'm wrong. And I want to feel things out. When I play games, I actually don't often think about things. What I do is I play by feeling and how things feel for me moment to moment in the gameplay. If something feels good, then I do it again. For example, things that might feel good to me, say if it's a cooperative game, it might feel good for me to bring weapons up to my friends on the front line of a battle or something of that nature. And that'll feel good to me, so I'll do it again. And it feels good because it was effective. So things that are effective and feel good to me, I do again. Whereas things that aren't effective and don't feel good, I try to avoid. I hope that's kind of an explanation of the kind of player I am. I don't know. I don't even know where I got at this tangent, but I think it's hard. It's hard to really. I often find it hard, and I might just be sort of projecting here, but I often find, at least for me personally, and it might be other people as well, when I'm trying to describe myself, sometimes I sort of convince myself that I'm something I'm not, but like not in a sort of how do I describe that more rationally and more accurately to what I'm trying to portray? It's not that I describe myself it's not that it's not that I deceive, it's that I describe myself inaccurately based on what I want or strive to be. And I don't actually assess myself based on what reality is sometimes. But I think that last statement I made, where I play games by feeling, I think that's pretty accurate. I don't really think when I play games, which is odd because I play a lot of like games that you would think require thinking. I'll just harvest this because I'm going to put a district on it, so we may as well get some value out of that tile. I'll also be... well, I can't really place any more pins because things have gotten a little bit awkward in the pin management area. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of that and paste that to the subreddit, because that is a pretty damn funny little thing. Now let's repair this tile. Oh yeah, so describing myself, I play games through this sort of emotional lens, and you might say, well, that's kind of weird, because a lot of people would play games through this sort of thinking lens where they think through things. But I almost never think things through when I'm playing. I just kind of feel my way through, and you know, you're getting what I'm doing is sort of the raw experience of what's going through my head emotionally at that time. I only ever really think about things when I'm in conversation with people. Or if I'm reflecting upon something, but almost always I'm just sort of feeling my way through a game, which it sounds weird to say, because I'm not really sure how to communicate it in a way that makes sense and doesn't sound kind of odd. I don't know. Do you do something similar? Do you think about your games, or do you feel through your games? Like, do you try to sit back and strategize, or do you just like go at it and see what happens? Because for me, it's much more enjoyable to just go at it and like have everything fall apart and go catastrophically and then restart and go at it again and restart and go at it again, than to like think and strategically plan my movements. Now, I mean, perfectly acceptable. If you find that interesting, more power to you. More power to you. But just speaking personally for me, Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I'm just every time I go to record, I just get kind of like belchy, and I don't know why. I just is it maybe I'm accidentally swallowing air as I'm talking or something? Who the hell knows what's going on? So if I put a commercial hub here, I don't want to crush too many of my hills. It's like I think I might put the commercial hub over here, and then the industrial hub here, and the campus there. Yeah, I like that. The commercial hub here. Drop that down. Okay, caravels are going to be getting upgraded. But here's the thing. So it, but the thing also is that might vary from day to day. You know, one day I might be thinking my way through a game, and another day I might be feeling my way through a game. It just entirely depends on not only the day, but what game I'm playing, how I'm feeling, what's going on in my head, or what I've decided to make my approach to the game. But almost always, I'm sort of just in the moment. I'm not thinking strategically. I work to develop this intuitive understanding of the mechanics and the interactions so that I don't have to think, so that everything becomes a natural reaction. Like I'm talking here, I'm not even paying attention to the game, and yet I'm still doing the things I would be doing if I wasn't talking. I might make more mistakes, but the sort of general sort of what's the word? There's like a word when you have the timeline, the narrative, the flow of my gameplay is still the same, more or less, to an extent. It's not exactly the same, but it's more or less about the same, even though I'm talking not about the gameplay, which is, you know, I don't know, is that something you can do? I don't know if everyone can do that. Maybe it's just because I've played so much stuff over so many years. Like, I think I've been playing games since I was about... I'm 20... Jesus, what age am I? Hold on. I think you hit a certain point in your life where you just start forgetting how old you are. I'm 25 and a half, okay? I couldn't remember. Do you ever have that struggle where you can't remember exactly how to calculate things in your head? Like, whenever a website or something asks me, what year did you graduate school? Or what year did you leave, you know, high school? I always have to get out a pen and piece of paper and be like, fuck, okay, I was 18 in this year and I left school when I was this age. And then there's like a math involved when I feel like I should just know. Yeah, it was that year and I know. But even now, I can't answer that question because I don't know why. I can't answer that question. I don't know what class I was. I have like not dyslexic. I have selective dyslexia. No, selective dyslexia about very specific bits of knowledge, not like most numbers. I have no problem with numbers or words, but very specific, like little pieces of language I struggle with. Like the word necessary like it takes me like 4 attempts to write the word necessary down, even if I've seen the word necessary recently or said it recently. Just every time that word, and there's a few other words like that. It says, if I have to do the word necessary, there's a time investment in writing the word necessary for me. That's not a trivial task. What's up with this? All right. 19 turns. That's an outrageous amount of time for that. I don't know what the hell is going on there. You should just probably continue to repair yourself. I don't know. Sometimes I talk an absolutely absurd number of bullshit. Where is submarines? Submarines are at electricity, and we are on the way there. So I think I'll keep my privateers in dock. We'll hook these bad boys up, and then we'll start sending them against Poland. Now, do I have any more ships? I do have frigates to upgrade. So bam and bam. And you go there and upgrade. Oh man, you're gonna rest a turn. I actually, you know, speaking of ironclads and like sort of early Victorian the naval technology transition of the sort of industrial revolution, that whole period of history is fascinating to me. The idea of these sort of post-primitive societies becoming extremely advanced societies relative to their previous state of existence in an extremely short space of time. And even now, even though we've been in that transition for like 150 years. The graph of technological advancement has just stayed vertical for like generations. It's crazy to think about that. You know, there are people who lived only maybe 5, 6, somewhere between 5 and 10 generations ago, depending on how old your parents or whatever were when they had their children. If they were, if they were in their early teens or 20s, let's say 20. If they were around 20 on average, it was probably about uh 7.5 to 10 generations ago. But if they were in their 30s, you cut that number in half, so it was about 5 to 7 generations ago. Or only a handful of generations ago, people would go their entire lives with very little social advancement or change. And you think like people who have lived from even just like not too long ago, like someone who was born after World War II, think of the world they've seen. In terms of going from one state of the world to another. Think of the entire social landscape that has completely transformed in those years. Even just simple stuff like women's suffrage. Let me think here for a second before I go on about women's suffrage, as if I know something about it. Yeah, I want to get rangers. I also want to pick up replaceable parts. I also want to pick up I think I'll go for electricity because submarines are going to be the good meme. I think I'll also pick up flight and replaceable parts, chemistry, combustion. And then we'll kind of see what we do here. Maybe we'll go for an aircraft carrier. Ooh, actually, we'll go for flight into aircraft carrier. That seems like fun to me. Okay, where was I? Yeah, like you think of this as social change, where in mainly Western society, I can't really comment on, other societies, but women would have been seen as, second-class citizens, would have been seen as lacking agency, almost like children that required direction and protection. Uh, and that's changed. And then you see things like, gay or homosexual or non-heterosexual people basically going from being persecuted and openly mocked and uh, openly discriminated against to being just the sort of part of society now. It's just normal for someone to be homosexual in a lot of places. It's not seen as it's not seen as a crime. It was a crime to be that way, and it's no longer. And then you even look at some of the other things and you think, you know, and just bringing this back, like you think those people in those times, they went through like when society changed, it was like hundreds of years or perhaps, a few generations worth of entrenched ideas and methodologies of the organization of society being completely overruled overnight, it felt like. When you had, even just the idea of democracy, of people getting to vote, of people having some say in how their own personal destiny is influenced by the collective identity of a nation. Whereas previously you were owned, you were essentially property of your lord or your of your lord or whatever, or mayor or whatever was sort of lording over you, if not sort of strictly property, but sort of the implied property, because you had no choice but to be a serf and work on the land, and you were tied into this sort of social contract that you had never had the right to. You had never had even the input to even begin to give feedback on your thoughts or feelings or desires to do with that contract. You were just essentially expected to fulfill your role in that society without, any song or fanfare. And it's interesting to see now how different things are, even just a single generation to another generation. Like the kids growing up today are living in a completely different world than even 20 years ago in terms of the social landscape. whereas things would have been fairly, I wouldn't say stagnant, but the pace and rate of change would have been very similar. For example, someone born in, the 1500s as a farmer probably would have had, you go like 3 or 4 generations along, and they would have had very similar lives and experiences. And even though we do have sort of this train of experiences that sort of ties us all together throughout history, a lot of things have changed. I think that's what I'm saying. A lot of that was rambling as I played the game. I don't know, I could be talking out my ass. I often talk out my ass sometimes. Think about that statement for a moment. Okay. What can I do with this city? I could get a trader here. Have I just been like staring at my cities and not doing anything? Because I was trying to think about what I was saying. I probably have been doing that for a while. Why don't you go to sleep? It's actually getting pretty close to the end of the episode. So for now, let me have a look here. I think I'm going to put you to sleep in the city, and then when I remember you're there, I'll do something with you. How about you get me a repair? Oh, you can't actually repair that. Repair that. I don't even know where to send you. Excuse me, I don't even know where to send you. We're sending all of these ships over here. We have field cannons. We are about to unlock the Potato Palace. Why don't you link up with here and go to sleep? Oh, we could upgrade this bombard to artillery. Excellent. Excellent. Alert. Alert. I would love to continue playing, however, this is not a feasible thing for me to do. Oh, they have a city in here that I need to deal with. Yeah, I'm going to kill here and then purchase units to push. So let me see. I'm going to use one battleship to help me take Novgorod and siege it down and get stuff going. Actually, I think I'm going to separate the invasions of Poland and Russia. I think that actually makes sense. So why don't you make your way over there while we do the troop buildup of the century. I would like a couple aircraft carriers just for the fun of it. I want to try and experience war in every century. In every century? Yeah, well, in every sort of age. I really enjoy this game, but I want it to be better. I want there to be more things. I want it to be improved. I'm going to harvest this, actually, because it's not a very good tile, even though I was working it. I think I prefer getting the boost. The boost. Ooh. I think I'll chop here. And that's actually going to be, reluctantly, the end of the episode. I hope you guys had a good time. I know I'm enjoying myself. Sometimes I ramble on about things, but you're going to have to forgive me for that. I want to remind you that if you want to see more episodes of me playing this game, or just in games in general, please remember to subscribe to my channel to get notified when I make new content. If you want to directly support my channel and help my growth on YouTube and, increase my ranking and all that sort of fun stuff, make sure you leave a like on the video. It helps me out. It makes me sort of do better on YouTube. I don't really know why it works, but whenever I get more likes, I just get more views and I get more people commenting and all that stuff. So if you want to help my channel out, if you like what I'm doing, do that. It's a way for you to basically spend almost no effort to help me out. If you want to give me direct feedback about this episode, please remember to leave a comment on this video. I will do my best to answer every comment in a semi-intelligent fashion. I don't know if I'll always be able to maintain that promise, but I do my best to give everyone an answer to any questions or comments they have on the video. But that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love you all. Thank you very much for watching, and bye bye.